Hey, what's up guys? My name is Brandon Clements and welcome back to this tutorial of our continuation of the grandfather clock series that we've been working on. And as you can see, I'm in a different place and this is my home studio, so it's actually going to make it a lot easier for me to connect with you guys in the future, and also we'll have a lot more content coming up. So stay tuned for that. And today let's go ahead and jump into Moto 901 and finish building our door on our grandfather clock. So without further ado, let's get to it. So here we are in Moto 901, and I love the new advanced viewport as I mentioned before, but if you hit Control 1, you can toggle the lights real quick so you can hide those. And also one cool thing, since we're going to be working on the door, if we hold Control 6 and then we say invisible, whatever we select in our item view will actually appear inside the viewport, so we can just work on one thing at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and just switch my viewport back over to the default Moto viewport, and I'm going to just kind of move this door around so that we get it in the center of our scene, and then I'm going to rotate it about 90 degrees so that we can start adding detail on top of this door. And while I'm doing that, I'm going ahead and using my other display to look at our reference so that we have something to actually look at. And in some of these videos, I hope you guys don't care that I do a lot of time lapse, because I don't want to put you guys to sleep, but I also want to show you every single button click and every single step and tool that I'm using to actually accomplish some of these things. But I feel like if you've watched some of the beginning tutorials, you're just going to see the same tools going over and over throughout these next few videos. But there is some really cool stuff here in the deform menu. They took all of Seneca's scripts that I've been using, like the perfect circle script, and they've actually implemented that with some other advanced features inside of here, so that when we go to these different align tools when I'm using them, I'll be sure to pause and explain some of those since they're brand new. But why don't we just go ahead and start flushing out this door so that we can see some more detail and hopefully put this whole composition together. So let's get to it. I'm just making simple extrusions, and I'm just shift clicking to actually do the actual operation over again, so I don't have to keep going back to my menus or any of these sub palettes to actually invoke any tools. I'm just shift clicking to go back and forth so that we get some nice detail on this door. And of course you can see it's shaped like a mirror because we actually need to add holding edges here for the creases on side of the door. Now when we smooth, we get this nice creased edge on the door, on all parts of the door, on all the extrusions. One thing I'd like to do though is I'd like to come into some of these holding edges, and I'll add just one, and then I'd like to just extend that outward. And we'll change the type to a soft selection. And then we'll flip over into a side view, and I'll just change my lasso selects. Let's see, if we go into select and we go to lasso style, I like using a rectangle, so we'll just scoot those back, and then we'll turn off our soft selection or our fall off. We'll go back into perspective view, so something like that. So then we have like this rounded bevel on our door. So there's multiple ways we could have done that. We could have beveled, but since we had holding edges there, we selected the one loop in the middle, and we just use a fall off to actually pull that out. And we're using less polygons, but we're subdividing, so pretty cool stuff. I think I'm going to do that to the inside edge as well, the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hide the door for a second, and then I'm going to jump over here and I'm going to use some of my cubic geometries, and I'm gonna find a cylinder. So this guy will have 4 of them, you can see here. And then I'm gonna kind of edit these real quick before we use them. I'm gonna say 90. I'm gonna say you go up about 200 millimeters, and you go down 200 millimeters. You go this way, and you go, no, not rotation. You'll go this way. Sorry, and then 90. And you need to be positive. Okay, so we have this, and I want to scale these inward so they kind of fit together in a design similar to that. I'm going to unsmooth those and then kind of bring them together like that. Then I'm going to take all those inside faces and I'm going to delete those. Then we're going to take the vertices here and we're actually going to join those. So I'm going to go over to vertex. I'm going to say join averaged. Okay, now that once that part is done, I selected all these edges and I'm going to say fill quads. And I'm going to say fill quads. Okay, great. So now we have this shape here that's kind of intricate and cool. And we're going to use that on our door. And we're going to use Mesh Fusion to actually get that design to Boolean out through there. And it'll just save us a lot of time and hassle. So I'm going to go ahead to our Fusion panel and I'm going to say New Fusion. And I'm going to say, once I get these two selected, I'm going to say subtract first from others selected. Okay, and you can see that it's opposite here. So we can just come into our little union and our branch, and you can see here we can just switch A and B. Awesome. So then we got this really cool detail, and even cooler is we can come in here to the actual I think they called them strips in here, and the strip width, and we can dial that in however wide or small that we want, and that is just some of the coolest. I mean, this is just awesome. If this isn't blowing your mind like it's blowing my mind, then there's something wrong with you. So this is freaking awesome. So we can dial in whatever shape we need, and I think that's looking pretty sweet. Okay, great. Oh, and I didn't mention that it's all non-destructive. So you have your little graph over here that you can look at. And by the way, this is union, intersection, and subtraction. So by building out this little piece for us, we kind of saved some headache on what design was actually going to be poked through the door. But you can always come in and interactively move this around, and Mesh Fusion will update that for you on the fly. So we could put all kinds of designs in this door and use Mesh Fusion to go ahead and just create these awesome designs everywhere. So I'm going to leave that kind of in the center of the door, and I'll leave you guys to doing some of the intricate detail. And then with everything, with the mesh item selected, you can go down here to this output mesh and say convert to mesh items, and you can say OK. And there you go. We now have, we can delete our old cutter, and now we have just a regular door, and then we have the Fusion Mesh door. And with that being said, we'll go ahead and end the lesson here. In the next lesson, we'll go ahead and start fleshing out our scene even more. But as always, thanks for watching, guys. And if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and comment below. Give this video a like, and I'll also put all my social media tags and links in the description so you guys can catch up with me there. But thanks again, and we'll see you in the next tutorial. Thanks a lot.